Listen up, you angry shit kids from Reddit. I understand that you're still seething from yesterday from not being able to farm the literal best gear in the game on an account that you made 2 months ago, but I'm here to tell you, you absolutely still can. This raid is completely busted, even after the update. Welcome to my guide. First things first, I want to go over the gear really quick. We're going to be going in with 18.5 mil. If you aren't this poor, you should really upgrade some things, but I want to try to do kind of a bare minimum thing here. And honestly, the setup's probably quite a bit less than this. I have a decent amount of runes in the rune pouch. You can have a lot less, and I think the bolts might be influencing that. You can go in with like 50 to 100 probably. But anyways, we got Blessed D'hide for the range gear with a dragon crossbow. You're going to want that for the big ruby specs. All these bosses have pretty insane health, so we should be smacking some 100s pretty consistently. We're going with the Trident of the Swamp. If you can get the Sanguinity staff, you should do that. And if you got the new staff, you're not watching this guide anyways. We're going with Mystics. If you have Arums, bring Arums instead. The Occult Necklace is a really good cheap upgrade. I think they're like 600k or something for a massive DPS increase. If you can get that over pretty much any other mage upgrade. We got the Imbued Zami Cape. Any Imbued Cape will work. It's completely free. Huge bonus to mage. And we're rocking the Mystic Bottoms for our mage switch here. This is actually my melee setup. We're going to be rocking the torso, which is also free. You can sub this out for the Dragon Defender. I am not poor, so I don't own a Dragon Defender. That's also free. And then you can swap out your Infernal Cape for a Fire Cape, but I'm not bad, so I don't own a Fire Cape either. Barrow's gloves are sick. I didn't have any dragon boots, so we're rocking the flippers for style points. And you're going to want a Berserker Ring Eye. You should just own a Berserker Ring Eye. I don't really know what else to put in there. Rocking a Glory. I didn't have a Fury. Didn't want to buy a Fury, so we're doing the Glory for that. And if the Nezi Helm, because I wanted the gear total to be under 20 mil, and if I got the Serp in there, it would have been more. If you have a Serp Helm, wear the Serp Helm, but I'm trying to make this guide as low budget as possible, so we're running with the Nezi. You want Ruby Dragon Bolts E. If you're an Iron Man and you only have a rune crossbow, you're going to want to just use the standard Addy Bolts E with the Ruby tips, and yeah, that's about it. As far as the other miscellaneous stuff we have in the inventory here, I got some darts. If you have the blowpipe, use the blowpipe. This is for the monkey room. If you've been in the raid, which you probably have if you're watching this guide, you want to kill off the monkeys quick, so we're going to be throwing some darts. You can crossbow them if you want. It's not that much slower, but I want to speed things up, so I got the darts. Got a Dragon Dagger for the special attack. This is going to be used on the Wardens too, to try to skip phases, as the longer Wardens take, the longer you have to make mistakes and take extra damage. And then we have the Karis. Karis absolutely rips through the Beetle boss, so we're going to be bringing that. If you're super high level, you shouldn't be watching this guide anyways, but the Fang, I think, is a little bit better until you get some jewels in that, so in this low budget guide, we're going to be bringing that. I'm actually going to be pre-potting the range in this, but you're just going to need access to all these potions. Gonna ditch the stamina for this actually, so I will see you back here in just 1 second with an updated inventory of what I'm actually gonna bring. Cool, we are an absolute pack yak, bringing in 10 brews. This is gonna take a little while, so this is how it's gonna be. I'm actually going to pre-pot this, so I'm gonna get ready for the pre-pot with a ranging potion to anglers, because we're gonna be starting with the big Mutadile. So, invocations, we're going to be doing a softcore run. This basically gives us 3 lives. If you die twice, you just go out and restart. Not a big deal. I didn't want to do the hardcore run on this one because I have no clue how this gear is going to work out, honestly. I've never tried this. It should be fine. But yeah, softcore run, die twice, go back out, restart. Easy enough. I usually have quiet prayers on, but we're turning that one off on this just because these skills are going to take a while, which means we're going to be taking a lot of damage if we're not praying correctly. With a low budget setup like this, you're going to have to be a lot more precise since all the fights are going to be taking longer for you. The rest of these look good. I did want to try to get this to 150. All right, yeah, I'll turn off penetration. Penetration basically makes all the attacks during the Wardens second phase, where you're like running around the pillar attacking them, hit you more. So I'm just gonna turn that one off. We're at a solid 150, which is a normal raid, and I think these are some really easy invocations to deal with in any gear setup, and probably the easiest way to get a completion at 150. Okay, starting up, just angler pot angler, so you're boosted up. Grab your brews, and we're gonna head on in. Gonna first be going to Zebak, so we're gonna be going through here to the Crocodile room. Crocodile room, really straightforward. You're just gonna go through here, drop a brew, grab water container, and then fly through here. If you stop on that square before here and then run, you're going to be gapping all of these, so you're never going to be hitting them. Same thing on the way back. That's going to guarantee you a 100 on this. Same thing on here. Just click here. As if you click directly on there, you're going to automatically be gapped. Here, if you did that right, I'm actually going to mess that up because there's a crocodile there. And you can automatically click back on this from this side, and you'll be gapping all of these as well. And we're on to the big mutadile, the big crocodile's back. For this one, we're going to be arranging him the whole time. We're still potted up from before. And you're going to be praying rigor, and it doesn't really matter if it's mage or range yet. We don't really know until he shoots out the projectile. That's range projectile, so you switch to range. And then the magic one is going to happen here sooner or later. There we go, that's the magic one. So for this special attack, he's going to throw out a bunch of this acid stuff, and then there's going to be 3 waves. You have to thread through each one of these waves. That's actually a very nice spawn. Ooh, and yeah, you should know your distances with your weapon so you don't get dragged. Yeah, just like that. Don't get hit by the waves, pray correctly, and you should be all good. So for this one, you have to push a jug in front of the rocks here, and also avoid the bloods if you have that turned on, which if you're using my invocations, you have turned on. Then he's going to do this roar attack, so if you're not at least 3 tiles back of either of these, you're going to die. There's just no way you're going to live through that. Quick little side note about the jugs. Sometimes they're not going to line up perfectly and you can't push them into any of the rocks. So you are going to have to push them and then shoot them when they're in back of one of the rocks to clear the area so you can stand behind it. And at the end of the fight, he's going to go into his berserk mode, where he's just going to rapidly hit you with these different things. And you just have to pray accordingly. The damage is registered when the object hits you, so I wouldn't really pre-switch for when it shoots out of his mouth, like most monsters in RuneScape, where the damage is calculated when the attack starts. It's when the attack hits you. So just turn on range there, and it was perfectly good. There we go. 4.5 minutes, 4:45, I guess, on Zebak. Not too bad of a time split. Usually if I'm using the twisted bow, it's about a minute quicker, so gear definitely does matter, but should be definitely doable in this scrub gear. Next, we're moving on to the Path of Scabaras. This is the beetle boss. But first, we have to do a few of these puzzles. I'm just gonna start on this one. This one's really easy. You just click on this, and it goes through all these, and you just have to memorize them. You step on, and you mess it up, and then take damage. So for solos, you only have to do one per thing. See, I can run right down here and go on to this next one. Now these, you're gonna eventually get them down. You just kind of have to like memorize them. And then you always have to do the bottom matching one.
Back to basics. Take this. Back to basics. 'Cause I hate this mess we're making. If you fake it, can't mistake it.
So we're at the Beetle boss now. You want to put on your melee gear with your Pokeboy. We're actually going to start off with some DDS specs. Sip your super combat potion. Going to be going in and unload this on him. Going to want to be on stab. Looks like it's not hitting for shit. So a quick tip that I've learned from doing a lot of these is we're going to want to create a cage here on this side. And this will be important later. Because we're gonna trap a melee monster and try to get him to not hit us. Might be worthwhile to actually kill him off with this gear, just because our DPS is gonna be a lot lower than I'm used to. But the Karis actually seems to be hitting pretty good. Okay, scratch that. Nope, still trap him. Yeah, this thing is doing pretty good. Ignore the eggs completely. We're going to be praying range for the rest of this fight. This guy spawns. Kill him off real quick. You're supposed to hit better than this, though. Dodge these flying boys. And then, if you got time, you can blowpipe these. But I'm guessing if you're using my gear setup here, you probably won't really be killing off that thing fast enough to meaningfully get ready for the next part. Alright, so when you see the bugs on you, get ready to create the cage, run out this way, and you're gaming. So now when he spawns here, he will be caged, and he will spawn there every time. So there's going to be a mage that spawns in this corner, which is the southeast. And you're going to want to kill that mage ASAP, or she's going to do huge damage to you. Right, switch to your mage or range gear and start hitting the magician. Get ready to pray mage. She might hit you with the thing. Nope. Cool. Back to range. When she's here, you can melee her, and that will be better, but I have defeated her. This is a good time to blood barrage to heal off of these. And Kephri's dead. Easiest boss, definitely. This is going fairly slow. 12:26 at this point. What we're gonna want to do at the helpful spirit. Ooh, they put some Ambrosia in chaos. That's cool. We're gonna go with power though. You need salts. Salts are good. Due to my inventory constraints at this point, I'm actually going to go Akkha first. I usually like to go the monkey first, but I think this just will make more sense with juggling bullshit in my inventory. So ideally you have stashed a pickaxe here. God damn it. All right. Mine's in somewhere else. So yeah, I must have accidentally banked it after the last one, but that's where you store your dragon pickaxe, rune pickaxe if you're watching this guide most likely. And the way this works, you just place the mirrors, and your objective is to bounce this guy's light into the statue. All right, on to Akkha. You're going to want to start with Mage. He always starts off with that, and then you're going to want to pray the opposite of what you're attacking with, if that makes sense. It's pretty apparent when you go to the boss. So I'd heal above full, just to start this off, get your salt out, salt up. It's like an overload, but better. Pray melee, and we're just going to be maging him. After some hits on you, he's going to switch his attack style, and you are going to have to switch yours as well. It will be range next, and you will be meleeing, if that's helpful. Right, for this we have to stand in the correct quadrant based on what this is. First one is then be death, lightning, prayer, white, and then fire after that. It's always this, it's not always the same order, so you do have to keep an eye out on what's going on there. I do recommend saving some special energy for the end. So when that happens, he'll turn white after a certain amount of HP that you deal, probably a quarter of his HP. It looks a little bit, not quite a quarter. Maybe it is, maybe my eyes are wrong, but yeah. Then you start killing his statue thing here. Right there, we switched to Praying Mage, and when we get out of here, we are going to be ranging him. So for those, you just don't want to run back onto that square. It matters more if you're doing it with a team, so you don't like rag each other's tiles. You can actually run over your friends and then get them automatically hit with one. So maybe do that. That would be a little bit of fun. But in this, yeah, you just don't want to run back into your thing. It's, again, no real reason to camp low HP in this room or any room in TOA. The salt heals your, not heals, but boost you back up pretty quickly here, so don't camp low HP. It's not worth like getting kicked out and wiping and having to do this all over again. At this point, he is going to go berserk. We are going to want to dump our DDS specs into all of these guys, run back to the center. Oh shoot, I guess we can do multiples, but yeah, you're going to want to run back to the center. Back in here, you're going to want to do heart prayer as well, and yeah, easy as that. 3 DDS specs and he went down. If your RNG is shit, just once your specs are gone, switch to your main hand and then you should be fine. Not doing great on time, not doing terrible considering the gear, 2155. So this is the worst part of the raid here. It's basically like the Nylocust room. If any of you have done TOB, probably not if you're watching this guide, but it's like that but with monkeys. This helps once you start memorizing the order, but you're going to have to repair the pillars, dump these vials down the wells, and also kill monkeys at the same time. All the waves are the same every time, so the first one we're going to be starting off with some melees. The next one, going to be ranging. So that's what happens. You see the skulls over the vents, and then you just click a vial once you're over one, goes right in. Oh, this one is different. Maybe they did change something up. So the shaman spawns other guys. You can clump the melees and just barrage them. You can like barrage all these things in like other armor, and I've seen that it doesn't really matter that much. So do what you need to. This is pillars. Just click on the pillar with the hammer in your inventory and you will solve that problem. Freeze these guys as soon as possible. That's venom, and I didn't tell you to bring an anti-venom, so don't stand in that or your raid's over. This is why I brought the darts. Probably should use them. Yeah, freeze those guys as soon as possible and do not stand in the venom. You're going to have a real bad time. Yeah, this is why you brought Blood Barrage right here. Don't want to waste brews, so just heal up on these clumps. These explode, so you just let them get close to you. Step one away. Easy enough. And you should prioritize the shamans first, since they do spawn some other stuff. And I am venomed. This is very bad. I'm hoping that will go away at the end of the room. If not, I might have to die and come back in. My venom does cure. Okay, your venom does cure if you get screwed by that, but I'm down a shitload of health because of it. Usually you can heal up enough to not need to use any food during that, but obviously I screwed that up pretty bad. So yeah, just brew up to full here. You don't need to like restore like the same way you would normally. I'm going to because I have no prayer. And then we're gonna salt up. This room is melee. You want to be on stab. Come in here. We're gonna dump all of our DDS specs into them. Avoid falling boulders. And you want to be by the boulders. Avoid that. And he's gonna do a range attack, which you need to be standing next to a boulder, or else it's gonna hit you massively. I have Mind the Gap on, so I can't get knocked into this gap. 2 tiles in is where the gap, where is the safe zone, basically. So as long as you stay not within those, you should be fine. So here we're gonna switch to rigor. We're gonna hit the boulders. All right, they are one hit with this. So a good tech for this, you hit the boulder if you're near the top here, run up. Once you get through, hit the monkey and he'll stop attacking. Save some time, and with that, save some supplies for you. Yeah, and after there's 2 rounds of boulders at both 66 and 33%, there's not going to be any boulders, so you don't have to worry about staying out of the middle anymore. And we just kill them as soon as possible. It's going to spawn these monkeys, but if you're this close to the end, don't worry about them. We're just going to DPS them out. Going to waste more time and supplies trying to kill these monkeys than just getting a lucky 33 here. There we go. That's the monkey. Easy enough, even with this shitty dagger. All right, that's all of the rooms. We're moving on to the final boss. You're going to want to choose life because ambrosias are very good, and you already have salts. So you're going to want to get out some salts. You need your 2 liquid adrenalines. I will show you what those are for soon. Very important. Very, very important. And I think most effective for me, it will likely be magic on this. I'm going to try it and see how this works. I might switch to melee. But yeah, you're going to want to take out a silk dressing, both your ambrosias, and a blessed scarab. And you can use the rest of the supplies as needed. Oh, waiting for nothing. All right, so we're in here. You're going to want to salt up, begin the fight, start attacking the obelisk, and stand in this path here so you block this for the first little bit of the fight. So what we're doing with this is we're offsetting the healing on these 2. It's not really healing, but it's like charging them up for an attack. So now that they're offset, I can step off and stop taking damage and apply my silk dressing, which is going to heal me over time. And for these, just don't stand under them. So right here, I am outside of that 3x3, and I am safe and can continue attacking. They're going to shoot 2 balls at me. If you're not doing a solo for this big boy, you group up with your team. You got to be touching everybody, or else the person who's not touching anybody takes insane damage. This one, you have to spread out from your group. Otherwise, you take the same amount of damage. I think it's like an automatic wipe in most cases, or at least in the few times where I've done it and we haven't gotten it correctly. The person has died from like basically full health. In solos like this, no real avoiding them. You just take damage from both of them. Better your gear. I would usually skip these 2 balls actually with better gear, but with these the shitty trident, it's just not happening. Most teams actually melee this, but I wanted to try out magic because I do know that the stats were released and the obelisk seems to be weak to magic, I think. Not really sure, I'm talking out of my ass here, but it seems to be doing okay. We're definitely going to skip the little ball, maybe, big ball might hit me. Nope, perfect. So this first one, it always starts off with range. So I suggest just healing up to full, praying rigor. We're just going to be ranging him and running away from him, praying accordingly. That's range. Range you can tell beforehand because he like reaches behind his back to get a ball, and that's mage, which he shoots out of his sword somehow. This is kind of like a pinwheel type attack. You just have to run away from him in the circle and not get hit by the red stuff. Probably the easiest one of the pillar special attacks to deal with. That's range. It disables your prayer and you have to turn it back on. Right, he's about to go down. So we are going to switch to our melee gear with the Dragon Dagger, hit your Adrenaline Potion, and you're going to have to get on this tick perfect or it's going to be a big problem for the technique that I'm trying to do here. Alright, so now we are maging. It's always in this order, so don't worry about trying to look for cues of any sort. I'm actually out of prayer. Don't do that. Hurts bad. Heal up when you can. Try not to... Ooh, for these, if you're caught there, you can stand next to it. And that is a bad misclick. For that, just don't get stuck on the tile where it's on. And yeah, for this room, definitely don't camp low HP. Just, like, I got hit pretty bad there. I'm just gonna go back to above full. There's no reason not to. Scarabs are dope. They heal your prayer over time, but they heal it for 5s instead of like the chambers, like 1 at a time. So they're actually like really good. He's about to go down again. Right. And for this one, we're not going to Dragon Dagger spec. Want to save your specs for the 3rd down. So just equip your main hand, and you're just going to camp the main hand for this entire down on the core. The next one, we're going to be dumping our Dragon Dagger specs with our 2nd Adrenaline. That way we ensure that we get the 3 down. Now I'm looking at it with this low invocation. That might have been possible to get a 2. Yeah, it definitely would have been. They must have changed something, or I'm just used to higher invocations getting shorter or something. But yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Yeah, we definitely could have gotten the 2 down there. And spec him out to finish the fight. Equip your range gear really quick. Brew up to above full. I'm going to withdraw all my supplies just to get more shit in my inventory. And then we are ranging. I have fast mode on. You might not. If you did my invocations, you will too. So yeah, we just do this. It is always in this order. If you want to manual walk, you can manual walk over to there to save some run energy. I guess I don't really need to. Yeah, just don't get caught on either side. You'll get hit for about 30 or 40. So this is the funnest part in the game. These are only 1 tick each, so you just go to each one of them every tick, and you just zoom around and hit all of them. It has to be melee. It doesn't work with range or anything else, so just equip any melee gear or unequip your bow. You can punch them all and just zoom through them. For this guy, when he pops out, you pray range. When he switches like that, you pray mage. So with Karis, you gotta, or Kephri, you gotta just watch out for his attacks. He's gonna do his big ball attack like he did during the fight. Just avoid that while praying correctly and avoiding these things. Just like move 1 square. It's not really a big deal to deal with. Catches you every once in a while. So we're praying range again. Once again, for this one, no reason to camp low HP. Just heal above full constantly. And this is the last one of these. Just keep on healing up and praying. Keep on moving. There we go. Clear. That wasn't that easy. I'm gonna be honest. That had me sweating there a little bit at the end. But yeah, easily done. Probably like realistically 15 to 17 mil gear here. And yeah, 150 done in basically 40 minutes. And is it purple? No, of course it's not. But that's fine. That's fine. Thanks for watching. I really made this guide to help out some clanmates who are a little bit undergeared at the moment so they can get in and start making that bank while the getting's good. If this guide did help you out in any way at all, I would really appreciate a subscription. It'd mean the world to me. Bye.